guys doing today? Today we are going to talk all about Zen gardens, or also known as Japanese rock gardens. Our focus today is all about kind of self-care, and we're going to talk about how Zen gardens help us just kind of relax and help us be mindful and help us with meditation. And so we're going to make a tabletop Zen garden. Which you might have seen before if you have ever been to like a botanical garden, or some different zoos have them, or different places. They look like this, or they can look like this. This one I was able to take off the internet when I Googled Zen Gardens from Chris BiblemanPhotoCenter.com. So Zen gardens, what are they? Well, for centuries, Zen gardens were created using small rocks or white sand in kind of harmonious patterns. You'll see a lot of circles and kind of waves. This one that I showed you used square shapes with lines. These patterns are created to create basically a very peaceful place for meditation. Zen comes from Buddhism, which is to help get us in a relaxed state, a very mindful state for enlightenment. So they've become very popular across the centuries. And this year, or today, we are going to make a tabletop Zen garden, which has become very popular the past couple decades. So when I say meditation, what exactly is meditation? Well, meditation is a practice where a person uses techniques such as mindfulness or focuses the mind on a particular object or maybe a thought or an activity. It's to train attention and awareness and be very present, and achieve mental clarity and emotionally calm and stable state. So a lot of people use tabletop Zen gardens as a way to relax, to regroup, to refocus. So this is great for all ages, depending on how stressful you are, or how hectic your life gets. If you ever need a moment of Zen, just kind of coming together, taking a deep breath and relaxing, this is the perfect thing for you. So I'm going to show you a couple different patterns that popular Zen gardens have. So there was the one that had squares. You can see they go in different shapes, and it's always a pattern. This one from High Tech Landscapes uses swirls, so it helps kind of represent that of waves of water or the ocean. They used rocks in their Zen garden to also kind of help with just kind of the peaceful and tranquility look. And then this one is from housed.com, and they use different types of sand, different color sand, as part of their landscaping. And again, you see the similar themes of swirls going this way. So this is what you can do at a large scale in your backyard if you wanted to, or around your house. And so I wanted to show you what the tools look like when you do it at a grand scale. So there's different types of rakes and brooms to help keep things even. So there's a bigger metal rake, and then these are the more traditional wooden ones that help us get those even lines and help pull and push the rock into the formation that you want. So what kind of tools are we going to use for a tabletop one? Well, first we're going to find a dish. So I chose this shallow bowl just because it seemed appropriate to be on top of our table. You can use a shallow bin. You can use a shoebox lid. You can choose any container that you want that is going to fit right for you. So be mindful of where you're going to put your mini Zen garden. Is it going to go in the middle of the dining room table for you to work on when you're working on homework? Is it going to go on your desk so that you can take a little break from screen time when you're working on different things? Is it going to go in the kitchen, the patio table? So that'll help determine what size shape container you want to use. The next is to use sand. So I'm using really thin decorative sand. I chose white just because my bowl is gray. I thought the white went nicely together. You can use whatever sand you have available to you. So maybe you have green play sand at home and you want to use that. You can also use kinetic sand if you want to. Kinetic sand is usually that sand that you can mold into shapes, and then just based off of its composition over time it starts to settle. So where a sand like this, the pattern's going to last unless somebody knocks it over or puts their fingers in it or shakes it. Kinetic sand, as you let it sit, is just generally going to go back to normal. So just determining what you would like to use. So I'm going to pour this into my bowl. I am not going to fill it up. I'm going to give it a good edge, just in case it does get knocked, it's not going to fall over. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in, and then I'm going to kind of just shake it just to get it flat, and I'm going to add a little bit more to it. And again, just going to kind of shake it. I'm going to use my hands and kind of just help even it out, just to get it nice and flat. So we saw in the pictures that I took of the big Zen gardens that a lot of times they use rocks. And so the rocks are put in different positions, and then they can do different patterns around them. I am choosing for my tabletop to use these glass kind of pebble pieces as my rock, just because I had those on hand. So I'm just going to put them around. You can use rocks that you have around your house. Maybe you collect rocks and you want to use those. If you are a kid and you want to use a Lego figure or different little figures as statues in your Zen garden, you totally can do that. The idea is for you to create something that is just going to be very aesthetic, and when you look at it, it's going to bring peaceful thoughts. Just looking at it, and then as we're working through our Zen garden, making the patterns, it's just going to increase that just mindful, just kind of clarity and relaxation. So I had shown you a picture of the tools that we use in a life-size Zen garden, or one that you would do around your house. So obviously I can't take my rake that I have in the garage and use it for my little mini tabletop Zen garden, but I can replicate different things that I have around the house. So you can buy little mini Zen garden tools. You are more than welcome to do that. I'm just choosing to use things that I can find around my house. So one of them is a plastic fork. This is going to act as my rake. I am choosing a pencil. So then if I wanted to get a little bit more detailed with my design, I can. If you don't have a pencil handy, you can always use the end of a paintbrush, or if you want to kind of maybe fix a spot that you maybe just aren't really into, it's kind of your eraser. I'm going to use the right side of the paintbrush. So we saw in those tools that brooms are used as well. So the idea is to make those just really tranquil patterns. So I'm going to go back to this one because it seemed like this one was easy to see. So you see circles and you see waves, and you can do different patterns. So they chose to put their rocks on one side and then do patterns on the other. If you do have a rock or a pebble, you are going to want to start. Let's see if I can do this so you can see it. You'll want to go around and make your pattern like that. So I don't know if you can see it too well. Let me tip it a little bit. So, but very gently, I just took my fork and I just went around one rock. Can you see it? I apologize. Okay, and then I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to go around, my other one. And I'm going to be doing this a little bit after we're done with our video as well. just because it's kind of hard to be mindful as you're explaining it. So yep, just go around your rocks if you want, if you have them in there, and start there. And then I'm going to take this one out and kind of just do this. And then you would start going around and making them bigger. And then continue on and just make a pattern. And while you're doing this, just kind of, think about what you're doing. Maybe think about an image of the ocean, or you can think about kind of what you're doing for today. Or maybe there was something that you just need to process some more. So you can do that. Another thing you can do, and the nice thing about this being little, is you kind of just shake it. You can use your hand to flatten it out. I can use my paintbrush. And just kind of erase the day. And then you can just start making your own little patterns. And this is very relaxing. And just do that. So it's very similar to if you've ever been to a beach and you're just kind of running your finger in the sand and just listening to the ocean waves, kind of like music, just very calming. When you think about your Zen garden that you're going to have at home, think about, is it going to be your own personal one? Is this, let's see if I can do that a little bit more so you can just see just gentle waves. Think about, is this going to be your own personal Zen garden that only you're allowed to play with and make your patterns? Is this something that's going to be in the middle of the dining room table and just kind of family members can take turns, or just have that knowledge that if somebody's having a rough day, they're going to just kind of play and make their pattern and just take time just to really be mindful in that moment, or just kind of make some ground rules about your mini Zen garden. This is something that if you put it into a bin, you can put a lid on top of it. You can take it in and take it out wherever you want. This dish will be on top of our table, just kind of out in the open. I do have to share that if you have cats, just be mindful because sometimes they do like to play in the sand. So just keep it out of their reach or whatnot. So just some things to think about. I hope that you enjoyed our little activity, and I hope that you're able to create a little mini Zen garden of your very own, or just have some activity where you can kind of find your moment of Zen and just kind of bring everything back to focus. If you are getting frustrated or if you're upset, this is a perfect little activity to take 5 minutes and just kind of make your own patterns. Just kind of focus on the sand, focus on your patterns, and just have that moment of Zen. So thank you so much for visiting and hanging out with me on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon for our DIY Zen garden. Next week we're going to continue with self-care, and I think we might do a body scrub. So you guys have an enjoyable rest of the week, and thank you again for hanging out with me at the McDonough County 4-H Facebook page, and I hope to see you soon and again next week. So have a good day.